is a what? Transverse fissure. And it divides the brain into what? Cerebrum and cerebellum. Do that again, Mr. Gilmore, I'm lost. This fissure right here, it divides the brain into left and right hemispheres. So that left and right hemisphere is divided by this thing called what? A longitudinal fissure. This fella right here, he divides the brain to cerebrum and cerebellum. So Mr. Gilmore, what is his name? His name is transverse fissure. Mr. I don't know where you're getting this stuff from there. I don't. Look at number 3 on your list. It says longitudinal and transverse fissures. That's what we're talking about now. Now, when it says cerebrum, it wants to know what's the 2 hemispheres. The cerebrum, Mr. Gilmore, here's the left hemisphere, and here's the right hemisphere. That makes sense. Now it talks about 4 lobes. Let's look at the 4 lobes. Make it easy. Here's our 4 lobes. The part that's on the front, that's called the frontal lobe. The part right here on the side, that's called the temporal lobe. The part that you see right here, this is called the parietal lobe. Then you see this part on the back where vision originates, that's called the occipital lobe. So do it again. Frontal lobe, temporal lobe on the side, parietal lobe, and occipital lobe. Those are my 4 lobes. Mr. Gilmore, that sounds just like the skull. Yep, because it associates with the parts of the skull. Now, if that much is true, it asks us about corpus callosum and lateral ventricle and all that. You can't see that from this aspect. So what you got to do, Mr. Gilmore? The only way for you to see that, you got to come here and divide the brain into left and right. That's the only way. And when you do that, that's a perfect dissection. When you do that, you get this. That's pretty good. So what we do is do it like this. That's even better. How did it look on the video?
Looks good.
Alright, so here's what we got. Same thing we just did, except we're doing it from a sheep brain perspective. Mr. Gilmore, I see all these little crevices. These are going to be sulcus, and the raised areas are going to be gyrus. But then I noticed this cute little thing right here. That cute little thing right there, Mr. Gilmore, is called the what? The corpus callosum. So that makes this area right here that's pitted, that makes that area that's pitted, Mr. Gilmore, the lateral ventricle. If that much is true, the area is going to be underneath it, Mr. Gilmore. This is going to be your fornix. Now, if that much is true, this cute little thing right here is going to be what? The thalamus, followed by the hypothalamus, and then you see this cute little thing right here? I'm lying to you, because this is the optic chiasm. This is going to be the what now? The pituitary. Mr. Gilmore, do that again. See this cute little thing right here? Corpus callosum. You see this pitted area right here? Lateral ventricle. You see this cute little thing right here? Fornix. After the fornix, what's going to be below it? Thalamus. If this is the thalamus, that makes this hypothalamus. So that makes this the pituitary. If that much is true, Mr. Gilmore, what's going to be this area right here? That's the midbrain. If this is the midbrain, what's this going to be, this bump? Pons. What's going to be this? Medulla oblongata. That makes this spinal cord. Make sense? Now, what's this cute little structure right here? If that's the cerebellum, that makes this the cerebrum. All right, that makes sense, Mr. Gilmore. Play the game. Now, going off your list, you just told me what the sulcus is, what the gyrus is. You told me what the longitude and the transverse fissure. We know what the cerebrum is in terms of the 2 hemispheres and the 4 lobes. Now we talked about the corpus callosum, the lateral ventricle, and then we looked at the fornix. We also found out what the thalamus is, but Mr. Gilmore, I have no clue what cranial nerve 1 or the olfactory is. If you don't, I want you to turn your attention to this fella. This fella, Mr. Gilmore, shows me there's this cute little thing that comes up. This is called the olfactory bulb. The olfactory bulb has these little extensions coming from it, and those are the olfactory nerves. So, Mr. Gilmore, hold on, do that again. This is the olfactory bulb that has the olfactory nerves extended from it. Those olfactory nerves go through the cribriform play of the ethmoid bone. If that much is true, Mr. Gilmore, what's this cute little structure that's going to the side? Well, that's the olfactory tract. That's the olfactory tract that's coming to the side. But Mr. Gilmore, if that much is true, what is the optic? The optic is this cute little fella right here. This is the optic nerve. If these are the optic nerves, what's this area where they cross? That's going to be called the optic chiasm. The optic chiasm. Now, where the optic tract is? The optic tract is going to be underneath this structure. You can't see it. But if you pick this up, you'll be able to see it. Many times they'll come up easily, some of them won't. Mr. Gilmore, what you holding it by? What's that tough stuff called? That's the dura mater. We talked about it. That's the dura mater. It's real tough. Mine's still intact pretty good. Bless you. Now, let's see this thing called the hypothalamus. Well, Mr. Gilmore, we already talked about the hypothalamus. We said the hypothalamus, you first find the thalamus, and underneath it, Mr. Gilmore, is the hypothalamus. Bless you. If that's the hypothalamus, where is this mammillary body? Now, most of you all won't be able to see the mammillary body, but I'm going to show you how you find it. And the only way I can show you, I got to remove this. Now, this, Mr. Gilmore, has the actual pituitary intact. But when I pull it up, Mr. Gilmore, I can see this structure. Can everybody see? Can you see this right here?
Yes.
Can you see that on the screen? Yeah, they can see it on the screen. That fella is the mammillary body. He's always going to be right below the infundibulum, which is that hole right there. So this is the mammillary body. I'm touching it now.
What hole?
You see this little hole right here?
Okay, yes.
There's a hole right here. His name is infundibulum. Well, right below it is this cute structure right here called the mammillary body. The only way you can see this, you got to pull up the pituitary that's found inside of all this tough sheath, which is known as the dura mater. That's the only way to see this. And that's where you see all these bumps and stuff. So, Mr. Gilmore, what else do we got? We have the midbrain. Let's see what the midbrain is. You found out the midbrain is this area right here. Right?
Yes.
If this is the midbrain, you got a floor of the midbrain right here, and you got a roof of the midbrain. The floor of the midbrain, Mr. Gilmore, is called tegmentum. The roof of the midbrain is called tectum. So, tegmentum and tectum. Now, if that much is true, look at this corporal quad. The corporal quad, Mr. Gilmore, is the structure right here. Mr. Gilmore, but that ain't a good view for it. I need you to show it to me how it may show up on the test. You see these 1, 2, 3, 4? The 2 at the top are called superior colliculus. The two at the bottom are called inferior colliculus. The superior colliculus is for vision. The inferior colliculus is for hearing. They're called that, what Bob calls it, Dolly Parton and Reba McEntire. Dolly Parton is superior colliculus. All right? Reba McEntire is inferior colliculus. And so you can see why. The two at the top are much larger. All right? If that makes sense, I shut up, you review that, and then we keep going on. Because we're almost at the end again anyway. So hopefully, by breaking it up.